All right, welcome back to Money School. Check it out, Kris Krohn here. Today, I'm gonna be teaching you the 5 investment vehicles that you need to know about that society's never gonna tell you about. Come on, baby.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Oh, you might be wondering why I am so excited for today's video. I'm gonna tell you right now, there are things that you should have been taught at home, junior high, high school, worst case scenario, college, about money and how to build wealth and how to get ahead. And guess what? Nobody is teaching it to you. What they are teaching you are the wrong financial rules. So guess what? Uncle Kris is here, and guess what I'm doing today? Today, I'm gonna share with you the 5 investment vehicles, what you should be investing in, and these are things that the wealthy do to get rich. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's contrary to popular belief because all of them combined get you rich pretty quick, just like the wealthy do, just like I do. And that doesn't sound too popular. There's a negative stigma on the notion of get rich quick, but I have to tell you, if you're getting rich slow and something gets snagged, you ain't never getting rich. First question, was ist ein Investmentvehikel?
To German with you. The Germans.
Well, an investment vehicle today in this video is gonna be more of like a metaphor, right? Like an investment is where you put money into something and the expectation is that it does something, right? Like it grows and eventually it's designed to give you some money back. We're using the vehicle metaphor because in life you've got fast vehicles, you got slow vehicles, you've got clunkers, you got the Pinto that's getting ready to like blow up, you got race cars that are like race car fast. When it comes to the world of investing, the better the vehicle, the faster the vehicle, the better the investment. I gotta tell you, in one of my previous videos that you can click here in this corner to see, I talked about the 5 worst investments that society pushes on us. And today I really wanna focus on the 5 investments that I've used to create wealth, but I didn't just stumble across them. These are 5 investment vehicles that I learned from interviewing very successful people, financial mentors, and frankly, some of the world's wealthiest. I promise you, they're doing at least 3 of the 5 investment vehicles that I'm about to introduce you to. Now, for today's analogy, we've got the armored truck that is producing a single-digit ROI. We're gonna talk about a solid 5-6% that you make on your money while it's just sitting in this vehicle, slowly moving and collecting some interest while it's waiting to be deployed in one of the next 4 investment vehicles. Next, you have the sports car, right? This is a double-digit ROI. Stock market can't do that, 401k can't do that, IRA can't do that. Double-digit means it's earning over 10%, and with the sports car, we're gonna talk about a minimum of 25%. Now, just so you know, if you're earning 25% a year on your money, that can grow into millions of dollars during your working life. So it's sufficient for retirement. But we're not stopping there. Then we're going to triple-digit ROI from sports car to race car. Triple-digit ROI means that you've got to be earning over 100% a year on your money. Now, people start thinking, come on, Kris. That sounds like get rich quick. That's just too much to be true. And I'm just telling you right now that wealthy people, we do this all day long. Then we're gonna move to the Formula One car, if you will, as a metaphor for quadruple digit ROI. That means that you're earning over 1,000% a year on your money. And then finally, the private jet. I like flying private. It represents the infinite ROI, which means I put no money in and yet I get to materialize money out of thin air. We're covering all of this today. All right, let's talk about the armored truck. I call this your financial reserve vehicle because you're reserving money, setting it aside, stashing it for these other investments. Because you realize that if you have a job, you work for somebody else, and then they give you this. They give you some cash. Most people just spend all of their cash on all of their bills and they have nothing left over, and they're basically working for their bills. Right? You're the slave in this scenario. What you have to do is get ahead. You have to stash your cash by learning how to save aggressive. I call it an aggressive savings strategy. That's an acronym, ASS. And you got to move and shake your booty if you want to get ahead. I always tell people, you got to save at least 20% of what you make that is not going towards your bills. It's going towards your investments. It's going towards your future. And where should you stash that? You should stash it in a single-digit ROI, which is liquid that you can take out. And for me, that's life insurance. As in, I put my money in a life insurance bank account that on average pays me around 5 or 6% a year. It's a lot better than stashing it in a bank where you're getting like 0.1%. And when you think about 5 to 6%, that's not gonna make you rich, but that's also an untouchable place, unlitigatable. It's a smart place because it also grows tax-free, and anytime I want it, I can have it. The sports car is a passive income vehicle. And the reason why passive is important is because right now you probably have a job or maybe you own a business and you've got limited time. So you have to have places where you can put your money where it works for you. And how we're gonna do that and produce a double-digit ROI at the same time is by tapping into passive turnkey real estate investments. Now, I don't touch a real estate deal unless it pays me 25% a year. And what that does is I can multiply that over 2 decades into 26 times more wealth. So check it out. Let's say that I had 10 grand, 20, 30, 40, $50,000. It could be sitting in an IRA, could be sitting in a 401k, it could be equity in my home. And I decide to take this out and say, no way, Jose, I'm not gonna put that money earning my 6-7% return in the stock market. I'm gonna put this into a bank account of bricks. Call this home right here. It's my down payment. I buy this house. If this house is returning me a 25% ROI, this $50,000 can grow 26 times over the course of the next 20 years. And do you know what 50,000 times 26 is? Do the calculation. It's millions. It's a lot of money. It's enough where you could actually serious retire. But guess what? We're not just going to stop at a double-digit ROI. We're not talking about making money over 20 years. We're talking about you creating wealth in 5 years or less. So we're gonna have to move on now to something more aggressive. Okay, your third vehicle is your race car. This is your asymmetric risk vehicle. Kris, what is asymmetric risk? Asymmetric risk means low downside and a really high upside. For example, let's say that you saved $10,000 and your buddy came along and said, yo, I have this hot tip on a company that's ready to IPO. It's gonna grow in value. It represents the future in thermostats.
The thermostat is a sacred covenant. I can't believe we're even talking about this. This is madness.
There's been a huge technological breakthrough, and for reasons X, Y, and Z, do your research, I think you should invest in this. And you're like, wow, that sounds like a good opportunity. Well, if I put 10 grand in and the investment fails, I've lost $10,000. But what happens if that investment increases 10 times? For example, hey, 5 years later, they sold the company and my 10,000 became 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100,000. It increased tenfold. My downside was losing 10 grand. My upside was a tenfold increase. Now, that investment is super risky because you can lose all your money. But the whole idea of triple-digit ROI with asymmetric risk is to find companies that are on the verge of a breakthrough. They are disrupting their industries. Like think about 8 years ago, Netflix. Like Netflix compared to Blockbuster was this idea of we're gonna ship you movies in the mail and then you also have digital platform for streaming. It was such a fun, novel, but different idea. Had you been an investor back then, did you know that it has grown like 20,000+% just in a 7-year period of time? Well, there are many companies in biotech, space, and industry. There's in people that are trying to get all electric trucks and vehicles. There's all sorts of companies, 6G, where people are making massive advances. And those companies stand the risk of making a ton of money if you can find out who they are. So in a book that I wrote, I show you how to find these companies. And through the stock market, you're actually investing not in the blue chip companies that made it, but the ones that might be the next blue chipper. And those companies have a chance to grow 10 times, 50 times, 100 times, 200 times. And that affords you an opportunity to make a lot of money in like 5 years, as opposed to like 20 years with real estate. But now we're talking creme de la creme. We're talking about, Kris, where do I go from there? What if I want to create wealth in 1, 2, or 3 years? Not 5 years, not 10 years, not 20 years. Well, you're going to have to get your Formula One race car on. This is your active income vehicle. It has the opportunity to produce quadruple digit ROI or more. And you might ask, whoa, Kris, what could produce over 1,000% return? As in, I put 10 grand down and it produces it produces $100,000 back. That's really big. That's just the start. You're saying it could produce 10 times that? Yeah, and do you know how that's done? That's done through owning businesses. I didn't say operate business. I didn't say start a business. I said own a business. Check it out. We're talking about producing quadruple digit ROI through smart business investments. This vehicle requires a minimal time investment for maximum returns. And that's true if you own companies, as in I own 430 different companies to date. And yet there's just one of me. And if you have 24 hours in the day and I have 24 hours in the day, how do I do that? I've had mentors that have taught me how to leverage. They've taught me about scaling. They've taught me about trusting and empowering the right people with the proper credentials. And that means that I can be in multiple places at once. And if I can do it, I promise you can as well. In fact, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. What if you had 3 businesses on the side that each made you 10 grand a month? That's $30,000. Someone else is doing the work, but that money can be super meaningful when it comes to building wealth today. Now, if any of this is going right over your head, I apologize. It's a ton of information in a very short video. And I want to remind you that there is a link below for my brand new book called Have It All. It's all about the 5 investments to become a self-made millionaire. So if you click that link, you can pick up a free copy. As always, cover the shipping and handling. Otherwise, the book is yours. I'll send it to you and you can do a deep dive on any one of these strategies. And I want to end this video with a magic trick. What would you say if I put no money into an investment and then it paid me $100,000. Would that be cool? In my world, that happens like every single day. It's because I'm investing in metaphorically, a private jet, right? The fastest vehicle to get where you're trying to go. It's not a car, it's not a race car, it's a jet, right? It doesn't have to use the freeway system, it just cuts through with those nautical miles. And this is all about strategic partnerships. That's what this vehicle's about. And it can earn you an infinite ROI. You've heard the term OPM. Stands for other people's money, not opium, OPM. And other people's money means I found a house. It's a sick investment. It's really exciting, but I don't have the $50,000 down payment. So someone on social media that I was bragging about this house to reached out and said, I got the $50K that you need. And they said, cut me in on the deal. So I'm like, well, yeah, I found the deal. You put up the $50,000 and how about we split the profits equally? Ta-da, magic trick complete. The person puts up the money, you buy the house, you share it, you share in the profits. And let's just say that at the end of the day, it made $100,000. Here's $50,000 for you. Thanks for putting up the money. You also get your money back. Here's $50,000 for me because I found the deal. And all of a sudden, you actually transacted a deal. It could have also been a business deal. It could have been something different, but it didn't take your money to do it. You see, it does take money to make money, but they never said whose. Check it out. Leverage the power of other people's money. This is the ultimate accelerator for achieving the highest result in the shortest period of time. And with that, my friend, I have shared the 5 vehicles that I use to build wealth. And I'm telling you right now that if you study Elon Musk, if you study the other world's wealthy people, Bezos, you're going to find that they own businesses, they own real estate, they own pieces of other up and coming companies that are disrupting their industries and space. They have a special place where they save their money and they're cutting deals with other people's resources. Those 5 investment vehicles can combined create wealth for you in 5 years or less. Well, check it out. This is my brand new book. This is literally 20 years in the making. It's called Have It All, The Roadmap to Becoming a Self-Made Millionaire. And it is all about the deep dive on exactly how you leverage these 5 investments, starting from nothing, from scratch. You could literally even be in debt or have bad credit. And this exact same system in 5 years or less could build the same wealth for you that it has for me when I retired the first time at the age of 26. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Click below. This new book is the book. It is the ticket. It is the masterpiece. And it's what we all should have been taught in financial school. So thank you for letting me share it with you today. Now check it out. I just shared the 5 things you should be doing with your money, even if you have very little. But there's 5 things you 100% should never do with your money. And society is telling you every single day, whispering in your ear, you need to do these things and you should never do them. If you want to know what these 5 are, click this video, come back to Money School with me, and let me show you what you should not be investing in. Some are faster than others, but if you were to do a little bit of all of them, oof. Financially, could you become financially free and